Let's go.
Let's get it.
All right, and we are live. So welcome, welcome, welcome,
Welcome.
everybody, and happy Wednesday. You are here with your favorite power team. We are so excited about this show tonight. We have a lot of great things that we're going to talk about because you all already know how we do. We like to mix things up, but at the same time, we do like to make it fun. So if this is
Yes.
your first time watching us, welcome, and we hope that you come back and spend some time with us again every Wednesday between the hours and 8 and 9 p.m. So for those of you all that may not know us, we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves. I go by the name of Kesha Kesh.
I am your girl J Money.
And I'm Dr. Real, Mr. Motivational. Let's go.
Hey, let's
Let's
go.
go. Let's go. Let's
Let's get it.
go.
And we are missing Question and we're missing King Leo tonight. Got some things going on, but as always, we do keep them in prayer and looking forward for them to
Absolutely.
be with us again on next week. So,
Absolutely.
with that being said, um, something that we wanted to kind of talk to you guys about, if you have seen, if you have not seen it, I'll go ahead and do like a little bit of a recap here. There was a video, and the video did go viral. And it was a woman. She called in to get some advice from a relationship expert, and we all kind of gathered our own opinions of how that actually went down, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Now, I will say this: if you all know the video I'm speaking about, and when time permits, I will drop the link in the chat if I can. If you can go back and watch it later, because it's something that you may want to see. There were actually two videos floating around. The first video was a little bit edited, so you couldn't really understand the nature of like when she initially called in. And then there was a different video, of course, and it showed the full interview of how she came on the show and how everything took place. Um, Me personally, I don't even want to go first. I don't want to go first. I want Dr. Real to go ahead and give us some insight and give us
I
some.
bet
I
you
mean,
do.
really
Yes.
though,
Come on,
but
Dr.
from a
Real.
male, because you got to think about it. The reason why I'm saying this is because she reached out to this man and
Mm-hmm.
she wanted advice. So, from a male perspective,
Mm-hmm.
he gave her the real of what he felt the advice should have been.
Mm-hmm.
So, Doctor, go ahead and take it away. What's your opinion about it?
All right, so I seen both videos. The first one made him look like an extra jerk. The one that was edited make him like he was
Mm-hmm.
just telling her,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
you ain't
Absolutely.
you ain't gonna amount to nothing, blah blah blah. So when the second video that she came out with the whole length, I still feel like he could have came at that a different way.
Okay.
Because for me, it's all about how you present things to people. You can make things a lot more palatable when you add just a little sugar on it. I'm not asking him to lie
Mm-hmm.
to her, but he could have phrased it differently. To me, she came on at a time that he wasn't talking about what he was talking about. Obviously, he was a
Okay.
paid consultant. She didn't pay. She came in for some free advice on the time he wasn't trying to do that. So I get the business
Mm-hmm.
part of it. That
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
part I get.
Mm-hmm.
But when he kept saying, this is a lesson, a lesson, a lesson," I'm like, okay, what kind of lesson are you teaching her?
Okay.
Because he asked her to grade herself.
Okay.
She said she was a five
Mm-hmm.
without makeup, a
A
six, a
seven.
six with it, or
A seven.
seven,
No, he
whatever the case
said
may
that she
be.
couldn't say the number 7.
Right. So she said she was
That's
a
what he
Yeah.
five
said.
without
Oh
makeup, a
yeah.
six with it.
Yes.
Yes.
She is a six-figure business, and she wants somebody to match her grind.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's real. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But for me, he could have came at her different, but he dressed her down. He gave her the real truth, 100% unadulterated. She ain't got no reason to ever think about it another way because he told her what it is in his eyes.
In his
Mm-hmm.
eyes.
In
Mm-hmm.
his eyes. But I'm looking at him, and I ain't judging no dude. I'm like, fam, for you to be talking about somebody being a five and a six, but I guess you ain't got no mirrors in your crib, fam. Because come on, but that's just
Yeah.
me. Like,
Yeah.
okay, that's like a rock
Absolutely.
talking to a rock, but I got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I just feel like he could have gave her different ways of if he really want to teach her something, he should have gave her a lesson in bettering herself to that point she understands what that type of man looking for. But he really didn't do that. The whole time that I'm watching it, he was just dressing her down the entire time. And I'd have valid been me as valid been that woman. It could have been too many times he'd have been telling me I'm ugly, and we'd have had to have a conversation right there on this show. I'm sorry, you're not gonna keep doing that to me live and in person. For him to be the job he's doing, he could have been a lot more professional about that than he was, in my opinion. A lot more professional.
Okay. J Money.
So
she waiting. Look at
her. Of course, I agree with the delivery. Like, I feel like there's a better way he could have delivered the information to her, but I do agree with the message. I don't feel like she was getting the message that he was trying to get across to him. And I feel like he was getting frustrated because it was like, ma'am, I'm trying to tell you the type of men you're looking for, you're not the type of woman that they're looking for. And she wasn't getting that. And even with me saying, okay, I don't think I'm a 10. Most women don't think that they're 10s. We don't, if you're just saying you're a 10, it's because you live on this high horse, but there's no woman that's a 10. But the ones who do think they're 10, they're living on this high horse. But he was trying to deliver the message like, come off of that level that you're on and get down to your level so you can attract the men that are at your level. But she wasn't grasping that. And he was getting frustrated, and that frustration came off in disrespect. I don't agree with the delivery of the message, but I do agree with the message. I agree with everything he said to her. Everything.
But he can't say that no man gonna want her because she's over 30 with a kid and a bad baby daddy. That's a whole bunch of crap right there.
He said no man, let's get that clear. He said a 6-figure man. And
that's not true either, though.
Not checking for her. No, they're not, Dr. Rhea. They're not.
That's not true, though.
Type of women. They want a trophy woman who wants that money that he has. He wants that. They want a woman that they can control. That I got this 6-figure money that I have. I can control you with it. The woman who's on the level playing field that he's on, she's not going to let him control her. I'll make as much money as you make, so you're not going to tell me what to wear. No, you're not going to tell me how to eat, how to dress. But a woman who's not making the much money she is, like a doll or what you want to call a playmate, he can control her. But a 6-figure woman on his playing field, they don't want them. They don't want.
But see, the reason why I say I think that's untrue, because I don't like putting a whole group of anybody in one box.
But it's true.
But see, but you can't say that though. He can't speak for every man that makes 6 figures. Because that would be, there's no way he can't know what everybody that makes 6 figures think. He can say what the stereotypical 6-figure man thinks. Or just like saying every pretty woman don't have brains. That ain't true.
No.
I know a whole bunch of pretty women that's smart. I know a whole bunch of blonde women that are smart, but we always had that stereotypical blonde joke that blondes are dumb. But you can't put all blondes in one box. You just can't do that. I understand what he was saying. She's what I would call a ramen noodle girl, and I mean, or a flashing light chick, the kind of ones that only time you're gonna holler at her when the lights flash. I dig it. I get it. I totally understand it. But some people are not so petty just to look at looks. There are some people who actually look past that. Dr. Dre should look past it. This woman trying to take all his money. She cute, but she's trying to take all this bread. Period. All of it, right? So sometimes some people gonna look past that. They're gonna look past, okay, yeah, no, her face ain't all that, but her mind good. She got a work ethic. She got a good heart. Things that matter past looks. Because I don't give a damn who you are. No matter how nice your breast and booty is, gravity always wins, baby. At the end of the day.
Say on Dr. Rhea on there, she wants some arm candy, but making 6-figure. How many good-looking men in this world and 6-figure men together? Most 6-figure men that I've seen is like Bill Gates, and just making billions. They don't look like I can. And he said, "You're contradicting yourself." Well, I want arm candy and I want a 6-figure man at the same time. How she wasn't comprehending what the man was saying to her.
The same way ugly rich men have pretty women, an ugly rich woman can get a nice looking man too. Trust and believe.
But
it's all her attitude.
All he was saying was, if you consider yourself average, what is wrong with you dating an average man? He can offer just as much as a 6-figure man can, and he can. What is wrong with that? That's why I was saying, what is wrong with her dating a average man? You can make that man or help that man mold that man into what you need him to be. If he's not where you need him to be, help him grow, help him develop into the six-figure, whatever you're looking for in that six-figure man. If you're looking for money, he said, what can you offer him? I can help him with business. Okay, well, take that average man and show him how to build a business. Show him how to make money.
Let me say this, because I'm glad you touched on that, because I kind of understood that portion of it as well. And I look at this in so many different perspectives. For one, he is the expert, so he was kind of in a position to where he felt he could treat her that way because I'm the expert and you're calling me for advice. But I want to also say this, just as clear, cut and dry as he was making it, as she didn't qualify for a six-figure man. She makes six figures herself. So why is it that you feel that because she makes six figures, she has to take the time to build and mold someone? The six-figure man ain't doing that in this picture. He's going and say, I want this trophy wife, and I make six figures, and I deserve to have that. She's a woman that makes six figures. So what make it any difference for her to say, I don't want average. I don't want to build a man. I don't want to help him. Even though she didn't say that, because what she was saying was, which I admire her for admitting this part, she's done that before. So I hear you say, why you can't help that man? Why you can't help everybody? Well, maybe she don't want to because she makes six figures. I'm not saying that
but a six-figure man, if he's got a trophy wife, 9 out of 10, she's not a six-figure woman. So he is helping her. He is building her.
No, he's giving her stuff that she probably can't afford. A six-figure one, a man. This is the part that I didn't respect about the specialist. He's the expert. You broke down to her all these things that was actually true, because that is the world that we live in. However, if you're the expert, you still should have made it clear that that doesn't make it right. Just because some things are truthful does not mean that they're right. So what he should have made clear was that that man doesn't have to be happy. It doesn't mean he's happy with that woman, you know, because he's building her a certain type of way. It's just for that look. So I think he made her feel like below the scum of the earth, of course, but he was so mad because of how the show started out, and she kind of cut her way in. He lost himself into being the expert. He got his own
very frustrated.
But I will say this again, because he was the expert, he should have at least tried to articulate what she was trying to say. What I read into what her words truly meant was that it's not that I think I'm better than the average dude. It's just that when I find myself having conversations with these type of guys that's not making the type of money that I'm making, the conversation changes. That means they're so intrigued by what I'm saying that they want me to actually help them when I want somebody to help me grow, teach me something. But if I'm always the teacher, she's saying she's bored with that. It's equivalent to just like how we say, and we do it all the time. When us women sit down and we feel like these brothers get on our nerve, we say we want to go ahead and jump across the fence and see what these white guys talking about. Maybe we in the wrong lane. You know, it's the same thing. So all she was saying was, maybe if I set the table with the six-figure guys, the conversation become a little bit different. I now have myself in a different category of getting somebody that I feel that's on my level. I did not hear her degrade, you know, average guys. She just had a hard time trying to explain exactly what she wanted. And I know a lot of guys that make six figures, but it doesn't mean that they choose to date those kind of women either. Some six-figure guys are okay with an average woman.
I know she mentioned
he was just frustrated, and she came on at the wrong time, and that frustration just spilled off into that conversation that he blocked out everything that she really was trying to say. But at the same time, she wasn't really receiving what he was saying, because she even got on the cell line. She started laughing like, really? So she wasn't. I get it. What he was saying was degrading to her as far as how she looked, because I thought she was a pretty woman. I'm not taking that away from her, because I give a woman credit when she's due. She was pretty to me. He was like, if you take the makeup off and all that, do you think you're pretty? I would have said yes. I'm going to say I'm pretty regardless of how you feel. But at the same time, but she wasn't taking it in. She was like laughing and joking out. Well, I still want a 6-figure man. It's like, okay, whatever you say. But I would have, as Dr. Real said, I would have jumped in. Like, you're not going to keep calling me ugly. You're not going to do that. No matter how you
she
feel.
just hung up the phone. But I think she was in denial. I think she was in denial for the fact that this man is the expert here. He's talking to me. I think she was really in denial. But again, I'm not going to 100% discredit what this man was saying. He was giving her the raw, uncut version of what's really going on in this world that we live in. And he was breaking it down for her. I just hate that he didn't really let her see it from the perspective of that. I mean, that's necessarily what you gotta have to still be in a happy relationship. And you're a woman that makes 6 figures. He left all that out because he was already on the track of making her feel a certain type of way.
I mean,
because she came on the wrong day.
Yeah.
I felt her when she was kind of alluding to the fact that every guy she meets either wants to invest in her business or want to become business partner, like a come up in a sense. And I can see her frustration with that. And I mean, I understand why he was, like I said, why he was kind of upset, because he was like, I get paid for this, so you could have came and paid for this consultation, which he said that a couple times. He was talking to her like, you could have paid for this time and blah blah blah. But just for me, it's always about. So when I talk to my employees, I have some people that are not the greatest employees in the world, right? But I like to lead with 3 positives and 2 negatives when we have a conversation.
Me too.
Because if you lead with all negatives, the average person they're gonna block out whatever else you're saying to them. They're not even going to hear if you say anything nice to them, because you said everything negative at first. So they're gonna only focus on the negative. I think she knew what it was in the beginning. I mean, I don't think she was in that much in denial or anything like that. I think she knew what it was, but I still think, again, there's a better way to deliver that message than he did.
Yeah.
You could tell somebody the 100% truth without being 100% ugly with it.
I didn't agree with his delivery at all, because I was like that. And then when he, at the very end, when he said, "You broads," and I was like, yeah, that's when I shut down. But I was like, let me just finish this. But I don't like that word. I don't.
And then you're gonna be alone. Like, man, how you gonna tell somebody gonna be alone the rest of their life? Because
he said she was gonna die alone.
Yeah, they're not vibing. They're not vibing with your opinion, which is that what it was. The expert, not it's his opinion. How you gonna tell somebody that?
He said she's gonna die alone. That's.
I was like, wow, bruh.
After that, at that point is when my mind started shutting down. Like, really? So you just taking it all the way left? Like, that was so different.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
Yeah. We got some comments here. If you guys are just tuning in, when you get the opportunity, y'all, go check out the video if you have not seen it floating around, because trust me, it has been floating around.
It's
Carlos
crazy.
Johnson said, "Sounds like to me." And he was saying to her, men on her level will only want an Instagram type model looking chick, which is shallow.
True.
We have one. She said she also stated that she had a nice body. Maybe she thought that that was another plus for her. Some other comments at the top, but in these type of situations, women, they want to hear the advice from men because they're dealing with these type of men. And unfortunately, she was really hopeful of getting some advice that would possibly motivate her and steer her into the right direction. And honestly, I would love to know what her thought process is right now.
Me too.
Because she even told him, stop being mean, and he got even more upset.
That's when he really got mad.
Stop being mean. So she was really looking for some motivation. She was really looking for some type of hope, but I think he just took all that away.
She need to come holler at me. I got her.
That's what I was gonna say. We might need to get her on the Dr. Real.
Let's see, can we reach out to her? I want to see what
build up a little bit.
That was deep. That was deep.
That was real deep.
But y'all keep those comments coming, and if you're going to YouTube to look for the video, still yet chime in, give us your advice on that. But that was something that kind of caught the eye, so we definitely wanted to chat and talk about it. But we
Yes,
will
yes.
and move forward and get into some of the other topics that we have for you guys tonight. And we'll go ahead and start first with you, J Money. What you got?
So yes, I want to talk about this, giving. So as you guys know, I had my charity drive last weekend. I shared it in the chat. I shared it on Facebook, and it actually turned out pretty good. It turned out okay. It didn't turn out how I wanted it to, but it turned out okay. And I do want to give a shout out to Sia Smith. She's one of the people. She's one of our followers here on the podcast. She did donate, and she actually won. See, I hadn't reached out to you yet, but you did win one of my raffle gifts. Kesha also won one of my raffle gifts. So it wasn't a fluke when I said, hey, if you give to me, I was going to give back. And I did make sure that I did the raffle. I tried to go live twice to do the raffle, but some reason the weather was bad and the internet just kept shutting down. But I also did a video, so I'm just going to go back later on and just share the video that I actually pulled the names and then I gave shout out to some of my sponsors who sponsored the event. But the reason why you're so welcome, Sia. The reason why I wanted to talk about giving, because the craziest thing was told to me. So I had some people, I will not say names, that came to me and they was like, so you're hosting this event for somebody? What's going on? I said, well, no, I'm doing it for myself. And they was like, I don't know if they was in disbelief that I was doing it or why I was doing it, but they was like, well, why are you doing it? I'm like, are you going to give? Well, I don't know about giving to these different charities, and people are so bogus and they're putting up all these different charities to get money and do it. And I was like, well, I'm telling you, it's me. It's my name on it. I'm hosting it. I'm doing everything. I said, I'm going live the day that is actually coming out. I'm doing all of this. So how can it be bogus? So I'm okay. Move past you. So I have people reach out to me and said, oh, so you're collecting for the homeless and all that. What about if I need something? Can I get something? I said, well, are you in need? Because if you're needing something, then yes, I can. No, it ain't nothing wrong with me getting extra. Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? So I not only did my whole drive, went live. I stood out in the cold from 1 to about 5:30. It got cold where my nose was hurting, my toes was hurting, and I stood out there. I kept going live. If Sia seen me, Kesha seen me, a lot of people see me. I was going live. I'm out here. People that I actually was on Facebook, drove by, gave. People that was driving by, like random people, they won off my raffle. They stopped by and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm actually collecting. I rented a big old U-Haul truck and I put signs across the U-Haul truck asking for donations. And the lady stopped and she was like, well, I would like to just give. She said, do you have a cash app or anything? Because I didn't go to the store. And I gave her my cash app and I gave her a raffle ticket. She actually won the air fryer. And when I told her today that she won the air fryer, she was like, so that's a blessing. She said, for me just to bless someone for that day, just stopping to give, you blessed me with an air fryer. She said, look at this power of giving. She's like, the circle of giving. I said, that was the whole process of me doing this. I said, I didn't want to just give back to the homeless. I said, if you give, I give. Let's just make it a big circle of giving. So my question tonight is, my power team and everybody that's watching, if you have to give, would you give? And if you didn't want to give, why wouldn't you give? Like, what would stop you from being in the process of giving? Because you never know that day when it will become you that might need. You never know.
It just reminds me, J Money, of one of my quotes that says, people without compassion will always want your understanding. And there's a lot of people out here that don't want to give, but don't have a problem taking. Like we were talking backstage about the Amazon, Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. I think she donated something like $6.9 billion to different charities. But you had all these people attacking her, saying, why are you doing that for? And these people, I bet you asked them, have they donated anything besides their breath and time to anything other than themselves? Answer probably going to be nope.
Giving $1.
I ain't gave a quarter. And I understand sometimes you can't give material, but you can always volunteer your time.
Volunteer your
That's
time.
Nothing. There's a bunch of senior citizens that would love to have somebody that, well, you can't do it now, but come and sit and talk with them because they have nobody to ever come visit them in the rest homes. There's ways you can
Exactly.
give your time,
Exactly.
because time is one thing that's so valuable that we
It's
can
can't
offer
get
to
back.
people, because that's something you can't get back. So your
Exactly.
time is precious. If you can offer your time to go sit at a rest home, be a hospice volunteer, because you know the people on their deathbed, sometimes they don't have any family and they're
Exactly.
truly dying
Right.
alone. There's so much you can do without money, or
Exactly.
or whatever. Or you look in your house, you have stuff you probably can donate that you ain't using. A pair of shoes you ain't wore in 2 years. You just hold them to the special occasion. Baby, that occasion
Longer
ain't
than
came in 2
that.
years, it ain't coming. You can give them
Right.
shoes to somebody else. Or that dress you wore one time that you're not ever going to wear again.
Never
I mean,
gonna
there's
wear
so much you can
again.
do,
It's so
but
much, Dr. Real.
we're selfish. We're a selfish society
Very.
now. All we care about is us, me.
And then,
Right.
and then if like we was talking backstage, if 2020 haven't showed you or taught you anything, this could have been you. I don't have a job where I'm an essential worker. It could have been where they said, "Hey, we don't need you to show up at work anymore, J Money. I don't need you." Then what I would have done? Then I would have been that person who would ask for help. I'm not a prideful person, so yes, I will ask you, "Can you help me? Can you help my family? Can you feed my family?" I'm not gonna never turn away from help. But what if that's you? What if that's you
Right.
one day? You're that one person said, "I won't give you $1," but you never know when the tables may turn and God humble you down to ask for that dollar. Then what you're gonna do? Then what you're gonna do?
It could still be
I
anybody.
think for me, when it comes to giving, again, giving comes from the heart.
It
And
does.
I
It
mean,
does.
that's something that you can't force anyone to do. That's
Mm-mm.
something that you can't get upset if no one does.
Mm-mm.
You just got to understand
Mm-hmm.
your audience. I
Mm-hmm.
also believe that you have to truly know who your audience is, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
understand at that moment what it looks like when you're actually um, in an environment and you're expecting for people to give. I mean, even if it was at a church, churches have different ways of telling
Mm-hmm.
people we don't want you to feel forced. So that's why you can go
Mm-mm.
online, you can do things.
Mm-hmm.
Once you
Mm-hmm.
understand and learn, what you're doing and how to target certain things, you begin to do things a little bit differently. So
That
like in your situation,
helps
J
me.
Money, you have to think of it this way as well. If you are on social media and you are making it known to certain people that you're going to have certain things going on, well, those people at that moment that know exactly what it is that's going on, they're more receptive to whatever it is. However, if you are out on the streets, regardless of whether they got the heart to give or not, they could be a little bit confused at what it is that's going on because they don't have
Mm-hmm.
access to your social
Mm-hmm.
media. They don't
Mm-hmm.
have access to know who you are. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes those people, they will give you a run for your money because they're trying to figure out, why should I contribute to this? But again, to your point, if that's not something that they should be worried about because they're doing it from the heart and worried about,
Exactly.
your blessing on the back end, I could understand that as well. But when you start to know when you're doing certain things, you have to be prepared to expect certain things to happen as well.
Because that goes back when I first started getting into going to church and started giving my life to Christ. I had a lot of family members who came up to me and say, "Why are you giving your money to the church? Why are you giving this pastor this money when he's riding around in this $100,000 car?" And I said, according to the word of what I've read, he said it's not what they do with the money, it's what I do with the money. He said, give your 10%. And the 10% don't necessarily means you have to give it to church. Your 10%, you giving it to a homeless person. It could be you giving it back to a shelter. He said 10%, that means feeding into the Lord. Your seed. Your seed.
Right.
Your seed could be the church, the pastor, the homeless shelter. It could be anything. Giving your 10% back. That's what I was doing, giving my 10% back. Doesn't mean I have to always go into church and put my money into the offering plate. I read the word. I read it over and over to make sure I got a clear understanding. He said, give your 10%. And if you don't, and like I said, if you don't have to get out, I understand, because a lot of people were out without this year. I get it. You might have been one of those people you can't give, and that's okay. But don't be the one that you can't give and you come and ask me, can I have extra? Are you serious right now?
Right.
I'm like, I actually thought I was on Action Culture. Am I getting punked? I was like,
So
what the
what will
heck?
be your
I was like,
so
what
let
the
me ask
hell?
you this. Let me ask you, J Money. What would be your way of if you had to do everything again differently, or not even differently, if this opportunity came again and you started something and you wanted to do it next month, would you do it differently or would you do it the same?
I would do it the same. I would just ask. And if you can give, give. If you can't, it's okay. I'm going to pray for you anyway. I'm going to pray that God blesses you abundantly. I pray the Lord blesses you with more than you can ever. I don't. I don't hate. I'm not mad if you don't give. I'm not upset if you don't give. I still will bless you if you can't give. If you just had the desire to give and you can't, I'm going to pray for you. If you had it and you was being selfish and you did not give, I'm still going to pray for you. I don't have that in my heart, in my soul, and in my desire to have anything ill feelings about anybody. So that's just it. I wouldn't do anything different. I would stand out in the cold again. And as perfect strangers, I would get on social media. I would do it all over again. And I just told you on the other day, I just, for some in my reason now, I want to have start a non-profit organization where I can collect all year and just give back. Collect and give. I don't want anything out of it. I don't want no profit from it. I just want to just collect and give. You give to me, I'll give back. And that's something that me and my family has been doing since I don't know when. We don't throw anything away. I tell my kids, before you throw away anything, let me see it. That's the kids' clothes, your shoes. Let me see it. If I'm not gonna wear it, you're not gonna wear it. Throw it in the trash. But if it's something that I know that we can somebody can wear, we're gonna go and we donate to Life Foundation. The people know us by heart. We don't throw anything away. We don't waste because we know somebody can use it. And this has been since my kids were little. I mean, it's just I'm just now bringing it to forefront. I just don't like I told y'all in the last podcast. I don't tell people what we do because my glorification, my blessings come from the Lord. So I don't go on Facebook. Well, I'm donating and I'm doing it just to get likes and loves and hearts. I don't care about all that. That doesn't mean anything. I did it this time because I wanted more. I wanted to see if I can collect more. But other than that, if I have to stand out there every day and collect stuff and see if people will stop, because like I said, it was more strangers that stopped just to see what I was doing that donated than people that I actually know, and that's the truth. People just stopped, and I was like, "What are you doing?" They reading the sign. Oh, I would like to donate. I was like, "Thank you." Gave them a ticket. I would like to donate. Thank you. Gave them a ticket. I don't met people now that I like I said, don't want they now they're reaching out, she's like, you a blessing. I would like to just meet you and talk to you. And I'm like, well, thank you. Okay. That was just something I wanted to do, and the Holy Spirit had it on my heart to do, and I want to continue to do it. And I wouldn't change nothing about it. I wouldn't. If that's how some people are, you feel like it is a lot of people out here putting up these fake GoFundMe accounts, these fake organizations, these fake charities and collecting money and going to get their breasts and body done. But it's some of us who are out here are sincerely trying to help somebody, trying to do God's work that He told us to do. Help one for another. He said it. He said it. He said, I don't care what you do, you're supposed to help your neighbor. Love thy neighbor. Help your brother. Love your sister. He didn't say you have to be blood, cousins, brothers, sisters to help one another. And that's just something I want to do. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change nothing about it, Kesha. Nothing. I loved it out, even though I told you I was cold. I think I just didn't have on enough clothes. I think that's what it was. I try to be cute and try to collect money. You can't do that. So next time I'm gonna have on a thermal, a hoodie. I'm gonna be warm and be trying to collect stuff. But yeah, I wasn't even collecting money. I told them you can cash out me, but they were like, I could give you $10. No, I don't want you to give me your cash money. You can cash app it to me so I can have your name, and that way I can look you up, or you can give me your phone number. But I didn't want any money in my hand, none.
Gotcha.
I mean, there's been hustlers and since the time began.
Mm-hmm.
So people like say, oh, there's more scams now. There's been scams all around. There's always going to be
That's true. That's
somebody
real.
that's going to try to take advantage of the situation, especially this year when people are the job market, they try to make it look like it's better than what it is. But there's people going to take advantage of that. I just
Right.
heard today there's people already on the black market trying to sell the COVID vaccine. I'm like, man, y'all don't waste no time.
What?
Y'all already trying to
Wow.
hustle the vaccine already. I mean,
didn't
come on
get
now.
it.
But that's just the way it
Who's
goes.
trying
Who
to
says
take
it's real and who says it's not?
Who's trying to take
Um,
it?
but there's people always going to try to take
That part,
advantage of
Kim.
stuff. So I understand the skepticism of
Oh.
people because there are a lot of organizations that's foul.
Yes.
But then there's a lot of
Yeah.
organizations that people love and hold up to the holy grail that are not doing the things they say as well. Like I'm not gonna put them out there because I want them to come after me trying to sue
That's
me for
true.
defamation. But you
Yeah.
know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say too much about it about nobody's goodwill, if you feel me. But them people of that sort and mindset do things that are not necessarily on the up and up.
That's
But
true.
Yeah.
they're loved by society because of the picture they paint. But
Right.
strangers,
Yeah.
you will find J Money strangers. And I know find us on social media. I got people I never met in my life
Me too.
that support me and go harder for me than people I've been knowing majority of my
too.
life.
Me too.
And I never could understand that until I sat down and thought about it.
Mhm.
This mind boggles me that somebody who don't know you will go harder for you than somebody who do. But then there's the problem. They think the people that know you think they know you.
Right.
And
And
that
a
is
lot of
so
times
true.
they go by who you used to be. And that's
true.
why I tell them, if you can only see me as I used to be, then you have no point of being in my present or my future
You don't
because
know
you're my
me.
past.
That's right.
Right.
And that's so crazy because the first person who drove up, she said, "Hey, Rhonda," and I was looking at my daughter. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" She was like, "Here's my sack. I was trying to give," and I said, "Thank you." And I was looking like, "How does she know me?" And she said, "Oh, I'm your friend on Facebook." And I said,
Boom.
"Oh, thank you." I said, "Well, thank you for stopping." First lady that drove up in her old school truck with her mother. Her mother was like 80 some years old. And then she's like, "Baby, this is a good thing you're doing." But when she drove, she said, "Hey, Rhonda." And I'm like, "I don't know you. Like, who are you?" And then I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm still going to be sociable. But she said, "Oh,
Hmm.
by the way, we're friends on Facebook. You don't know me. We're just friends on Facebook." I was like, "Well, thank you." She was the first
Yeah.
person who drove up. Don't even know this lady.
Yeah, for
Don't even
me,
know
it's I you just get to a point to where you grow, and
her.
when you begin to do certain things, you already understand why people don't understand what it is that you're doing. So
Hmm.
you don't have to even think too much into it when you are dealing
Mhm.
with people of a certain caliber that understands anyway. You take a whole lot of energy and time trying to explain it to the ones that don't, which
Exactly.
nobody really has a lot of time to do that. So a lot does not shock me anymore, just based on, sometimes people just have things going on with themselves. And,
Mhm.
if that's what that is, that's fine. But you just got to keep it moving and, do what it is that you feel is best and what it is you're trying to do and accomplish those things.
That's
But
right. That's right.
very,
That's right.
very good information. Glad that things did go well as far as
Mhm.
the things that you were shooting to get for those people. So
Mhm.
got to just look at the positive and just forget
Mhm.
about the negative and
Oh
keep it
yeah, and keep
moving.
moving. Yes.
Keep it
Hmm.
When I
moving.
walk up to this church, they're gonna be happy to get this stuff. They'll be like, "Thank you, ma'am. Yes, I got it. I
Hmm.
got enough for y'all." I mean, I didn't get what I want. I had big plans, but I was still blessed with that, so I'm grateful.
Now, you might didn't get what
Yeah,
you wanted, but you got what you needed
That's
that's
right.
right.
That's
at the
right.
end of the day.
That's
Right.
right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay, y'all. Without further ado, we do have another topic that we're about to get into, and that starts right now with Dr. Real. Let us know what you got, Dr. Real.
So we're gonna talk about how to deal with the inevitable. And this year of all things should have taught us about that.
Mm-hmm.
The number one thing in life that's inevitable is death, right?
Mm.
You should. The reason why we celebrate life, or we should celebrate life more than we do, because we all know that death is coming for all of us. You start dying when you're
Mhm.
born, right? You don't
Right.
know when your
Mhm.
next. You don't know when your time is. Everybody knows that,
Mhm.
but we all operate for the most part as if we have all the time in the world.
Mhm.
Right.
So we don't make that phone call. We shoot a text because it's convenient. I don't
Right.
feel like talking to mama today because Lord, she gonna be talking about this, that, and that. But as soon as you find out mama gone, here you go being what's
Mhm.
that movie? But the white girl had the black mama, Imitation of
Oh
Life,
yes, Imitation of
and
Imitation
you
of
running
Life.
life.
behind the hearse acting a
Mm.
fool after you
Mhm.
done treated that person so
Mhm.
bad through life.
Mhm.
It shouldn't take a pandemic. It shouldn't take Kobe Bryant dying and a celebrity dying for you to express your love for someone. It shouldn't take that.
Mhm.
That should not be your motivation
Mhm.
because you see a RIP coming down the timeline. I see RIP down the timeline more this year, seem like
Mm.
than last year.
Woo!
Probably not the
Grief.
case, but it seems that way.
It seems
Yeah.
that way.
And I still only see people. Oh, I was going to call that person yesterday, or why did you call them? Because we're a self-focused society right now. Just let's keep it 100. It is what it is.
Hello.
But we got to stop taking cues from death to recognize life.
Right.
You shouldn't be motivated to live more now because somebody just passed away.
Yep.
I mean that I understand the motivation, but that shouldn't be your motivation.
Right.
Take the time to call people. Text messages is cool, but it takes 5 minutes to say, man, I just want to let you know I was thinking about you.
And I love you.
That's it. And I love you. Cause I said in the backstage, I already told my wife, and she think I'm playing, but I'm dead for Craig Douglas Watson serious. You not coming to my funeral acting a fool if we ain't like that.
Right.
You're not about to put me on no t-shirt. You're not about to have no Facebook RIP timeline going like me and you was like that when you know that wasn't the case, because you ain't talked to me in 15 years.
Right.
Right? You don't know me. You knew Craig 15 years ago. But what do you know about the Craig now?
That's right.
Nothing.
Why wait? We waste so much time, and then here we go talking about, oh man, I wish I had time. You did have time.
You had all the time.
And I'm not going to sit here and tell nobody how to grieve. Because you grieve how you grieve. But there's an unhealthy way to grieve, and there's a healthy way to grieve.
Right.
You have to be able to differentiate between the two.
Right.
Because the biggest problem most people have is when somebody dies, they start thinking about, man, if I only had more time with them. Why don't you focus on the time you did have with them? All the memories y'all made together, like I said before, good, bad, or indifferent. The memories y'all made together. You can't focus on something that's no longer existent.
You help me with that.
Tomorrow, you can't focus on what y'all gonna do tomorrow because you didn't get the opportunity. But you can focus on the time y'all had that picnic. You know, the time Mama made your favorite soup when you weren't feeling well. You know, or the time your husband surprised you and took you can think about all those things. You can't think about memories that haven't been made yet.
Right.
So you gotta learn how to deal with death. Then heartbreak. You're gonna experience heartbreak in life. Period. There's no way around it. But the most common response to hurt is, I'm gonna be all right. I'm okay. Black women, you know, I just say I don't like generalizing, but that's one thing that y'all love to say that ain't true. I'm gonna be all right. Bros too. Black men too. We quick to say that. The woman be them took our heart and them punted it down the hallway. And first thing we gonna say, bro, I'm all right. Knowing as soon as you go around the corner, you're gonna break down crying. You ain't all right. No. But it's fine. Right. But okay with what? Be okay with being disappointed. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You're gonna have disappointment. Be okay with being angry. Be okay with the pain you feel. But I challenge you to not be okay with saying all women and all men are the same. Or I guess I meant to be alone. No, you're not. You are not put here to be alone. That's a choice. You've allowed life to make you not want to go out there again. So now you're saying this to make yourself feel better, to say, I guess I meant to be alone. You know what? I'm guessing you're wrong, because you're not. You're allowing yourself to be alone because you're making those choices. Love is hard. And the time spent trying to develop with people can be exhausting. We all know that. And defeating.
Right.
If it's in results, it's continuous failure, right? Love and life are like the ultimate obstacle course. You either can stay the course and give up and watch yourself waste away, or use both of the negative and positive experience for growth and not regression. So for all my people who've had a 2020 that has definitely been the worst thing in your life, think about this. You can hear me, you can hear Kesha, and you can hear J Money. So that means you're alive.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
You're doing better than a lot of people that were here in your same place yesterday that's not here right now.
That's right.
And that may not mean nothing to you at this moment because you're looking at everything around you. You're worrying about how you're going to pay your light bill and all that stuff. And I get it, because been there, done that. But you got to have some kind of faith that you can stand on. Not sit on the faith, but stand on it. And the reason I say stand on the faith is that way you can be able to see over all the obstacles and boundaries that are in your way. If you're sitting on faith, you can't see over that stuff. You got to stand on it. You got to believe it. You got to find somebody that's going to tell you that every single day. Find a circle of people that think like you in the positive manner. Don't sit
Right.
beside somebody that's telling you the same thing, because then it's going to bring you down to my last point is disappointment. I just told you disappointment is part of life.
Ooh, yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Every person that's made it in life has failed. That's where we get it messed up at. We see people that are successful and we think they haven't had failures.
Hmm.
Right.
You hear so many stories of rappers and singers that went on talent shows and was told no.
Mm-hmm.
They could have took that time and say, you know what, this ain't for me. But failure breeds success.
That's
But if you
true.
look at failure as only failure, then that's what you're going to have every time, because you focusing on, oh, I guess this ain't for me, I can't do it. You
Mm-hmm.
can do it, you're just not trying hard enough.
Right.
How many times do you think it took for Edison? And he didn't do it by himself. We all know who the filament was made by. That melanin is strong, like the shirt say. You know
Yeah.
how we do. But
That's
how
very
many
true.
times did Edison and his assistant kept trying to make that filament for the light and it didn't work?
Mm.
And
Right.
it didn't work.
Right.
And then finally it worked. Can you imagine us using candles in 2020? Walk around with candles still because Edison and his assistant gave up?
Yep.
Hmm.
Or Michael Jordan quit because he got cut from the junior high school basketball team?
Hmm.
And how many times have you been told no of something you was passionate about and you were a success?
Hmm.
Yeah.
It took me 18 years to graduate from college. You know why? I had a family. There was no online schooling in the late 1990s and the early 2000s. But I told myself, I don't give a damn. It take me 25 years to get it.
Right.
That's
I'm going
right.
to get it one way or another.
Right.
And it felt that much better when I walked across that stage in 2018, because I know I put that effort in. There was times I wanted to give up. I was like, man, damn this.
Right.
But I made a promise to my great grandmother on her deathbed I was going to get my degree, come hell or high water.
Right.
Mm.
And anybody know me, I don't make promises, because I think it's
Right.
unfair to people to make promises to people. It's unfair to people. To me, that's how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I made a promise to her, and I made it happen. And again, it goes back to inevitability. I knew she was going to go away, but that was that was my heart, that's my backbone, that's my everything. But I knew I had to come to terms. She's not going to live forever.
Right.
We had that mindset that people going to live forever, and they're not. I know too many people this year. I had a classmate this past week of COVID on Sunday. When
Mm.
she was 47 years old.
Mm.
Just last week, she was celebrating her birthday. This week, she gone. That just shows you how precious life is. So if
And
you
you
don't
gotta
ever listen
embrace
to
it.
anything that I tell y'all on this podcast, stop wasting time and start loving more. Whatever you got going on with your family, like I said, you ain't gotta love them up close. Sometimes it's best to love people from afar.
That's true.
But
That's true.
you carrying that pain and that weight around with you, what's the point of that? Make your amends, but then keep it moving. Nobody telling you to stay there. You don't gotta have them
Right.
in your life. But why keep carrying that past with you? I still don't understand that.
You got to break
This is
it down for him, Dr. Real, because I see so many different people and I watch because um these are mostly people that are stepping into like entrepreneurship, or they're trying to blossom something, that they've been trying to do for a while. And when I watch them and a couple of weeks go by or a couple of months go by, I begin to see the trend of the post that'll say, all the people that I thought, my family, my friends that
Mm.
would support me, you know, they don't. Or everybody that I thought would be so happy and excited for me and was just rooting for me and say, girl, you doing your thing. Now all of a sudden they're upset. Some people, that turns them the opposite way, and they begin to feel like, what, they start believing in themselves.
That's right.
That you can have so much negativity in your ear that you
Mm-hmm.
feel like, was I tripping? What, was I dreaming?
Mm-hmm.
But you have those other people, like we're speaking of, that understands that you don't even understand my growth. So therefore, I don't even have the time to explain it to you because you won't understand it, because it's not for you, it's for me. So what words of advice would you say to those people that's experiencing those things from those close family members or friends that they thought that would be supportive of them?
Hmm.
However, they're more so of not supportive.
Mm-mm.
You're gonna find out, and I had to find this out myself. When you start to get on your grind, you're gonna start feeling lonelier and lonelier the harder you get into it.
That's
But
true.
it all depends on the vision you have and how you look at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If
Right.
you're looking at yourself through her eyes, all you're gonna see is that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at yourself through failure eyes, that's all you're gonna see. Don't let somebody get in your ear and change your vision of yourself or your plan.
Mm-hmm.
Your
That's
Right.
best
true.
bet, if you're trying option number one and option number one don't work, you should already be working on option number two. I
That's
That's
seen
right.
right.
somebody post the other day and say you shouldn't have just put a plan A. And I thought that was the most ridiculous post in the world for him to be as successful as he is in his business. Why would you post that? You got to have a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and keep on going.
Going.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you
Mm-hmm.
should ultimately want to land on your plan A, but plan A might be mixed in with a little bit of plan B.
Yep.
It's
Mm-hmm.
still plan A, but you just brought a little bit of plan B into it. So my advice to them is the only voice you need to listen to besides the Lord's is the internal voice of yourself.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to be the reason that you either fail or succeed. It's not going
That's
to
right.
be your
That's
wife,
right.
your boyfriend,
No.
your children, or nobody.
No.
It's going to be you
It's gonna be
because you're the
you.
one that got to get up in the morning and put that work in. You
That's
can't put it
right.
off on nobody else, on yourself but you. That's why entrepreneurship is hard. People think it's easy because they see the end result, but they don't see all the heartaches and the tears and the blood, sweat, and tears during the infancy of the process. They only see the end result. They don't see what the night she worked 19, 20 hours a day trying to get your dream off. They don't see that. They
Mm.
see now you winning, but they don't see
Mm-hmm.
all that preseason work you put in before you won that championship. Just keep
Mm-hmm.
moving. Those people who are obstacle blockers, move them to the
Mm-hmm.
side. If
Mm-hmm.
they're not here to help you, they're here to hurt you. And I don't mean hurt you
Mm-hmm.
physically, but they can hurt you emotionally and
Mm-hmm.
mentally, and they can stop you from being financially successful that way.
And that's true. And if you don't have someone that's backing you, then you need to get them out your corner because they're against you. They're not. They're not. And I said before, someone is just because you on a path, you on this path. Everybody's not going on that same path with you. You
Right.
might be going right, somebody's going left. And it's
Right.
okay. I'm not mad at you that you're not on the same journey that I'm on. It's okay. We're not on the same playing field that we used to be on. Me used to kick it and turn up in the club and be, and that's something you still doing. I'm not mad because that's something you still doing. I just choose to go this way now. Let me
Right.
go this way. But you're not understanding that I'm choosing to go this way. Now you have so much negative things to say about me going this way. But I'm not mad at you
Right.
though. But I'm not mad at your decision. You
Right.
decide to stay where you at and I decide to grow. What's wrong with that?
Man,
Right. Nothing.
life is just as much about gain as it is about loss. And it's more so about loss than gain. Anyway, you're going to lose a lot to gain a lot. But that's
That's
Right.
how it
true.
works. And you have to be able to be comfortable with losing people you thought you would never lose.
Mm,
You got to be comfortable with that. Not get
Right.
uncomfortable and bring them back in 5 years later, but you got to be uncomfortable. Like you just said, they serve their purpose in your book of life. Their
yeah.
chapter in your life is over with.
Yep.
The biggest mistake a lot of us make, we try to bring them back in for the
Mm,
reappearance,
that's
like
me.
like 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 Canaan on Power. Like, no, you dead. Don't bring them back.
That's
Right.
You know what I'm
me.
saying?
Right.
Like them telenovelas, the character never dies. Nah, you was good for chapter 1 through 5 of my life. I'm not bringing you back in 15. You don't belong there.
Hmm.
And
Right.
if I do bring you there, I'm gonna be right back in chapter 5 and be mad at myself because I just lost 10 chapters of my life going backwards instead of going forwards.
And I
Right.
read something the other day that made so much sense. Some people in your life for a reason, some in there for a lesson. And
That's
it's
right.
true. They're in there for a reason or a lesson. They're gonna either
Yeah.
teach you something or they're there to help you with something.
So
But
Right.
in life, you're either
either
the
or.
teacher or the student.
That's
In
That's
right.
every
it.
situation, you're either the teacher or the student.
That's
That's
right.
Which
it.
one are you gonna be today is the question.
That's right.
Right. I
I
mean, we're
agree.
we're getting towards the end of the year, and like you said, Dr. Real, there's a lot happening, but we
Mm-hmm.
have to just embrace what we do have. Let's focus on the things that we have. Look
Exactly.
forward to what's coming in 2021.
Hmm.
You have. I look at all the funny posts and all the people saying like, how fast this year went, how negative
Hmm.
this year was,
Hmm.
and how many people died. Like, but
Hmm.
uh, get some positive stuff in the air. Talk about all these great things that you've already been preparing to do so that you can birth it in 2021. Like we talked about a couple of shows ago. We've had a lot of downtime. We've had a lot of time to kind of just master the things and perfect the things that we already pretty much know what we want to do. You got to keep yourself occupied. You know, don't fall into that down period of just thinking about all this stuff that's going on. Don't allow that to attack you. You know, continue to stay positive and have those things already prepared so you can take care of your business in 2021. Because I'm ready for it. I ain't taking the vaccine though. I don't know about the back end stuff or all that, but you know, I'm hearing that maybe the world's gonna open up a little bit faster just because there is, you know, the vaccine. But yeah, I ain't gonna take it.
I'm not taking it.
I ain't knocking nobody that want to. If that's what you do your thing.
I didn't take the flu shot, so I'm sure not taking it.
I've never took the flu shot in my life.
Me neither. Never in my life.
But here's the thing that I am concerned about, that I spoke on this well before it ever even came up. But what if they make this a condition of employment? Which I feel they're going to. Especially for us remote workers that are at home, and they say this is the only way you can come back is if you take this vaccine. What's going to be the answer to that?
Oh, I hope not.
We might have the option to still work at home.
Because if you go biblical with it, that's almost the mark of the beast when you think about it.
Right. It's a lot to think about.
Either feed your family, or you take this shot, or you can't work. Your kid can't go to school if you don't take this shot. And we're not offering BLA for them. This is just either they come back to school with a shot or not.
Yeah.
It's going to be some hard decisions that have to be made.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be some hard decisions. But at the same time, we don't know what's in it. I'm just not. I can't picture it being safe. I have not heard anything positive about it. I just heard, you know, just negative stuff. You know, I don't want to.
Let me tell you something, government. Putting black people on TV with vaccines is not going to encourage black people to take it. I'm going to get close I can to my camera. Listen what I'm telling you. That ain't going to work.
It's not.
Trust and believe.
We're looking at them like, okay, you know,
not going to work.
I've been seeing it too.
It's not going to encourage me to run and go get it.
You know,
you ain't fooling nobody with that tactic.
Good marketing.
Nope.
Good
I appreciate you.
But
I appreciate
you. It's not going to work on this end.
Nah.
It try to lead us to that direction, but it is not going to work for me.
Definitely
just because a black person doing something, I mean, I'm going to do it too. Come on now.
Yeah. No. I'm just looking forward to. That was the case.
I've been rocking with Trump.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to how they're going to turn out with it. So kudos to them. But you know, like I said, hopefully things do begin to look better as far as things opening back up. But I'm not even in a hurry for that. You know, if it's time that we need, you know, we can still take care of our business the way we're taking care of our business now.
Right.
Just not.
But let me give y'all my quote for the day. This is definitely going to sum up 2020 for me. Is you can't be pulled or pushed towards your goals, as that takes effort on your part.
I know that's right.
You have to think about it. Some people don't catch that, but you got to think about it.
You can't be
moved unless you want to.
That's right.
Wow.
So y'all better get it together. Get y'all New Year's. For y'all who's already saying I'm gonna be different in January, man, ain't nothing but a calendar change. You could have started your change September 17th. Or why you wait till January 1st to start resolving your life? What the hell was going on April 4th?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or March 10th. I mean, why wait till the 1st?
Right.
I hear that every year. I'm soon as I see that post, I'm probably gonna go ahead and block you, because I ain't with that this year. Miss me on that conversation.
You grow from that. Like, a person is looking forward to that January 1st stamp mark. It just makes me wonder, you know, what are you doing all year? Because me personally, I'm looking forward to do something every month. Something.
And like I said, Kesha, this year you had an extra damn day. This is a leap year. You had 366 days.
It was a leap year.
You had an extra day.
It was a leap year. Right.
God said you an extra day, and y'all still ain't take advantage of that.
Right. That is
so cover that January 1st crap.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, that's funny.
You're lying to yourself,
Marsha.
That's funny.
It's true. I know that we are almost out of time. It's 8:59. We do just want to say thank y'all so much for tuning in with us again. If it's your first time, Check us out every Wednesday night between the hours of 8 and 9 p.m. Also, drop the topics, share the videos. We do go back and read your comments. If there's something that you would like for us to touch on while we're actually, planning our shows, because we do plan before we actually go live. We talk about the things that we're going to discuss, but don't hesitate to just drop us a message, and you can remain anonymous if you like, no problem at all. If you don't want us to share who you are and share your message, but at the end of the day, it's the no judgment zone. So we do not have a problem with sharing this because we consider each other to be family.
And real quick,
That's
Kesha,
right. That's right.
let me talk to the audience real quick.
Okay.
I know Christmas coming, but
Yeah.
guess what? That PS5, you can't live in that.
No,
Them Jordans will not keep your lights on.
no.
So use common sense. Do not max out your credit cards or pay half the rent trying to get presents when you're gonna be sitting outside with your presents January 2nd.
Right.
It's cold
Right.
outside, y'all.
It's cold.
Just what I'm telling you, use common sense. Them kids gonna be all right.
They're gonna
Right.
be okay.
Trust me. They're gonna be okay.
They're not gonna be entertained with it long. It's gonna be sitting in the corner come a few months from now.
Yeah.
Yep.
PS5 don't work without electricity.
And it's gonna
Right.
be old. They're gonna have
Okay.
some PS6 come out in 6 months. Remember how the world is. In 6 months, PS6 is gonna come out.
And you ain't got no water. You can't be fresh if you smell like death. So let's not do that.
I
Pay
think
your
we're going to be
bills.
a little bit smarter this year, especially
just saying.
with a lot of people that they're having to make wise decisions. A lot of people they don't have jobs right now, so
No.
I think we're going to make some better decisions. But this have been a learning experience.
I'm praying for y'all to do the
this
right
year.
thing.
I think they're going to do the right thing, Dr. Real.
Do the right
We
thing.
are out of time. We went a little bit over. It's 9:01 again, but thank y'all so much for tuning in with us. And we do
Yes.
hope that you come back and visit with us again next week between the hours of 8 and 9 p.m. And you all have a good night.
Good night.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace out. Love y'all.
Remember, you are what you speak.
What you speak.
Y'all got
With
it.
power.
Y'all did that.
Why would
Y'all
you
did
speak?
that.